may cause headaches, anxiety, and loss of sexual drive.
A new Miller's right after a new Big Bang Theory. CBS tonight.
Tonight, how far can the markets go? Wall Street makes history with a new high, but can the rally last? Anthony Mason on what's stampeding the bulls.
This is a sad day.
Washington makes history with a new low. In a showdown, Democrats sweep away 100 years of tradition. Republicans vow to make them pay. 3 women are freed after being held as slaves for 30 years. Mark Phillips is on the story. And Bob Schieffer finds the man who faced Lee Harvey Oswald in the moment after Oswald shot the president 50 years ago.
He didn't appear stressed in any way.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. The stock market is sailing in uncharted territory. Interest rates are low, corporate earnings are high, and there is no end in sight for the Federal Reserve stimulus program. Today, that added up to the Dow Industrial Average hitting another record, closing above 16,000, headed for its best year in a decade. Anthony Mason looks at how we got here and maybe where we're going.
For the first time ever, the Dow has broken through 3,000-point milestones in just 1 year.
It's funny to see how resilient this market has become and how it shakes off any negative data that's there.
Trader Jonathan Corpina with Meridian Equity Partners says even the government shutdown didn't make the markets flinch.
Our economy is getting better, and we see that translated in our market. And also, there hasn't been any real earth-shattering news that's taken our market off the track that it's been on.
The Dow, which started the year just above 13,000, broke 14,000 in February and 15,000 in May. In crossing 16,000 today, it's now up 22% for the year. The rally's been helped by Janet Yellen, whose nomination to be the next head of the Federal Reserve was approved by the Senate Banking Committee today and now heads to the Senate floor. Yellen has assured Congress the Fed will continue to support the economy and won't ease up on stimulus yet.
I consider it imperative that we do what we can to promote a very strong recovery.
Among the leaders of the rally, young tech stocks like Yelp, up 239% just this year, Groupon up 96%, and LinkedIn up 92%.
But those huge gains have some analysts warning of another tech bubble. $76 billion has poured into stock mutual funds this year. Scott, that's the most since 2004.
So, Anthony, the question is, does the market have the momentum to continue?
Well, the momentum right now is still up, and it will be until Janet Yellen signals a change in course at the Fed. And most analysts believe, Scott, that's not going to happen at least until the spring of next year.
Anthony Mason, thank you, Anthony. There was a historic breach in the U.S. Senate today, where Republicans have been holding up nominations that President Obama has made to federal judgeships. Democrats accuse Republicans of abusing the filibuster rule to hold up these appointments. And they point out that half of all filibusters against presidential nominations in U.S. history have happened just in the Obama administration. Well, today, Democrats pushed through a change in the filibuster rule that was so unthinkable, it was nicknamed the nuclear option. Nancy Cordes has the fallout on Capitol Hill. Nancy?
And Scott, leaders from both parties have threatened to deploy this nuclear option for decades, but until now, they have never followed through because it fundamentally alters the way the Senate works.
The Senate's Democratic leader, Harry Reid, said the final straw came when Republicans blocked the president's 3 nominees to the U.S. Circuit Court in Washington, D.C.
The obstruction we've seen from Republicans against President Obama has reached new heights never dreamed of.
So he called all 100 senators to the floor and announced he was changing a 96-year-old rule, lowering the hurdle for confirming appointees from 60 votes to a simple majority of 51 votes. All but 3 Democrats voted to change the rule.
The yeas are 52, the nays are 48.
The furious Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, argued Democrats were simply trying to shift attention away from Obamacare's disastrous rollout.
So yeah, I'd probably be running for the exit too if I'd supported this law. I'd be looking to change the subject.
The new rule only applies to executive branch and lower court nominees, not Supreme Court picks or legislation. But Republicans say it's a slippery slope.
Leader Reid, won't this come back to bite you when you're in the minority? What if they have a nominee you think is unsuitable?
What I said on the floor, what I've told these few, this is the way it has to be. The Senate has changed.
Reid came close to deploying the nuclear option this summer until a bipartisan group led by Senator John McCain cut a deal to let some long-standing nominations go through.
Was there any talk of a similar deal this time?
Yes, I tried, I did. They basically said there was too much pressure from many of their members.
There are 76 nominees awaiting confirmation, but the Senate didn't exactly get to work voting on them, Scott. Instead, they took a 2-week recess, so they won't be back until December under a cloud of bad feelings.
More to come on this one, Nancy. Thank you very much. Late today, the state of California said it will not let President Obama make good on a broken promise. Last week, Mr. Obama reversed himself, saying that he would allow Americans to keep health insurance policies that they like, even if that policy does not meet new higher standards. Well, California officials said this afternoon that reinstating those policies after they've already been canceled would only make matters worse. So hundreds of thousands of Californians will lose their substandard health policies, whether they like them or not. Kennedy cousin Michael Skakel walked out of court today a free man after more than a decade in prison. He was released on $1.2 million bail. Skakel was convicted in the 1975 murder of a neighbor in Connecticut when both were teenagers. But a judge threw out the conviction and granted him a new trial. Troy Roberts of 48 Hours is covering the case.
Relatives and supporters applauded when the judge approved bail. Michael Skakel did not speak to reporters, but his lawyer, Hubert Santos, did.
There were two tragedies that occurred in Greenwich, Connecticut in 1975. The first was, of course, the murder of Martha Moxley. The second great tragedy occurred in a courthouse in Norwalk, Connecticut in 2002 when Michael was convicted of the murder of Martha Moxley, a murder he did not commit.
Skakel was serving 20 years for bludgeoning Martha Moxley with a golf club. A Connecticut judge set aside the conviction last month after Skakel argued his trial attorney, Mickey Sherman, failed to properly defend him. Moxley's mother, Dorothy, and her brother, John.
Yeah, we stand behind the state. We know the state will appeal, and we're confident that Judge Bishop's decision will be overturned.
Skakel is the 53-year-old nephew of Robert F. Kennedy's widow, Ethel Kennedy. His father, Rushton, had made a fortune in the coal business. Martha Moxley lived next door. She was last seen alive going to a Halloween party with a group that included Michael Skakel. The 15-year-old's body was found outside her home the next morning. It took decades for prosecutors to build their case against Skakel. The 2002 trial focused on testimony that Skakel had made incriminating statements over the years. One witness testified Skakel boasted he would get away with murder because he was a Kennedy. At today's hearing, Hubert Santos argued the evidence was circumstantial.
No DNA evidence, Your Honor. No fingerprints. No trace evidence. No eyewitnesses.
Skakel was outfitted with a GPS ankle bracelet, and he is barred from leaving the state of Connecticut without permission. 81-year-old Dorothy Moxley says that she will attend the next trial in a couple of years.
Troy Roberts outside the courthouse in Stamford for us tonight. Troy, thank you very much. Today, Alabama's parole board closed the book on an infamous case of racial injustice involving 9 black teenagers who became known as the Scottsboro Boys. In 1931, they were falsely convicted of raping 2 white women. Most had their convictions overturned, but today, Alabama's parole board approved posthumous pardons for the last 3 of the men in the case. Today, the U.S. Navy suspended a captain in a growing corruption scandal. He is the 6th naval official named in the case. It involves a company based in Singapore that's accused of bribing Navy officers with cash and prostitutes. Today, the head of that company appeared in federal court in San Diego, and Carter Evans is there.
Those in the Navy associated with Leonard Francis knew him as Fat Leonard for his physical size and for the size of the lavish gifts he allegedly showered on naval officers. Cash, prostitutes, expensive Cuban cigars, and luxury trips overseas, even tickets to a Lady Gaga concert. What Francis got in return, according to prosecutors, was U.S. Navy warships redirected to Asian ports he ran. Francis allegedly overcharged the U.S. to supply those ships with food, fuel, and security services. Rear Admiral John Kirby is a Navy spokesman.
We've been in business with this company since about 1997, so hundreds of millions of dollars worth of contracts.
Today, Francis pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy and bribery. In September, Navy investigators lured the Malaysian tycoon to a meeting in this San Diego hotel where he was arrested. And 2 Navy commanders have been charged with accepting bribes that reached $100,000.
We believe that there will be more naval officers and perhaps even some Navy civilians implicated in this scandal as the investigation unfolds.
A naval investigator is also accused of giving Francis classified information about the case. According to court documents, the travel arrangements Francis made for the investigator included prostitutes. In an email, Francis sent a woman's picture and asked, "Joyce, your kind of babe?" The investigator replied, "Nice, you bet. Hopefully I'm her kind of guy." 2 Navy admirals are among those placed on leave in the wake of the scandal. Leonard Francis's attorney declined to comment on the case. Francis is due back in court in December. Carter Evans, CBS News, San Diego.
Overseas, police in London today arrested 2 people at a home where 3 women claimed they were held captive as slaves for 30 years. The home is in a quiet neighborhood not far from the River Thames and Buckingham Palace. Mark Phillips is in our London bureau tonight. Mark?
Well, Scott, just an ordinary house on an ordinary street is the way it was described today, but extraordinary and deeply shocking events taking place inside it for 3 decades.
Police said they moved in on a house in a neighborhood in London after they discovered a tip that 3 women had been held there against their will for 30 years. A women's protection charity had arranged for the 3 to escape, and the police arrested a man and a woman, both in their 60s. The trapped women had apparently been allowed out occasionally, but only under strict supervision. Detective Inspector Kevin Hyland of the Police Human Trafficking Unit said the women had been tyrannized by their captors.
3 women, aged 69-year-old from Malaysia, a 57-year-old from Ireland, and a 30-year-old British woman were all rescued. All 3 women were highly traumatized and were taken to a place of safety where they remain.
Police say there's no evidence of sexual abuse at this stage, but warn the investigation isn't over. And Scott, if you break down the numbers, it seems that 30-year-old woman may have been held as a domestic slave all her life.
Mark Phillips. Thank you, Mark. One of America's great retailers faces a tough future. How did a jumbo jet end up at the wrong airport? And a new island is born when the CBS Evening News continues.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
I'm a believer.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
I have a cold with this annoying runny nose. I better take something.
Dayquil Cold and Flu doesn't treat that.
It doesn't?
Alka-Seltzer Plus fights your worst cold symptoms. Plus has a fast-acting antihistamine.
Oh, what a relief it is.
There are seniors who have left hundreds of dollars of savings on the table by not choosing the right Medicare D plan.
No one could have left this much money here.
Yet many seniors who compare Medicare D plans realize they can save hundreds of dollars.
CVS Pharmacy wants to help you save on Medicare expenses. Talk to your CVS pharmacist, call, or go to cvs.com/compare to get your free, personalized plan comparison today.
Call, go online, or visit your local store today.
I'm Beth. And I'm Michelle, and we own the Paper Cottage.
It's a stationery and gift store.
That's cute. What's that?
Anything we purchase for the paper cottage goes on our ink card.
So you can manage your business expenses and access them online instantly with the game-changing app from Ink.
We didn't get into business to spend time managing receipts. That's why we have Ink. We like being in business because we like being creative. We like interacting with people.
So you have time to focus on the things you love. Ink from Chase. So you can.
And in a clinical trial versus Lipitor, Crestor got more high-risk patients' bad cholesterol to a goal of under 100.
Way to go, Crestor! Yeah!
Getting the goal is a big deal, especially if you have high cholesterol plus any of these risk factors, because you could be at increased risk for plaque buildup in your arteries over time. So when diet and exercise aren't enough to lower cholesterol, adding Crestor can help.
Go, Crestor!
Crestor is not right for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Tell your doctor about other medicines you're taking. Call your doctor right away if you have muscle pain or weakness, feel unusually tired, have loss of appetite, upper belly pain, dark urine, or yellowing of skin or eyes. These could be signs of rare but serious side effects.
Crestor. Yes!
Ask your doctor about Crestor. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
We're just a week away from the holiday shopping season, and for one retailer, Sears, the stakes could not be higher. Today, Sears reported that it lost more than $500 million just between August and October. We asked Dean Reynolds to look into why Sears is hemorrhaging money.
The Sears store nearest the corporate headquarters in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, is a showcase of goods, from TV sets to easy chairs, apparel to appliances. What we didn't see, though, were many customers. And farther from the mothership, in some of its 799 other stores, there are barren shelves and dark, uninviting spaces. Retail analyst Brian Sazi took these photos.
There are supposed to be people in charge making sure inventory in sneakers, in underwear, in undergarments is in stock. And from the pictures that we took, Sears is not doing that.
Along with the 1,200 Kmarts it owns, Sears has lost more than $4 billion since 2010. The company that helped create the American consumer culture with its iconic catalog and anchored malls from coast to coast has had a very hard time courting the middle-class shoppers it depends on. A predicament shared by rivals JCPenney and Kohl's.
Our financial performance is not what it needs to be.
Lena Munjal is a Sears vice president.
Our focus is looking ahead. How do we change our strategy to be able to react to the things that are happening, not just in retail, but transformation generally happening all around us?
Sears is rushing to go online big time and ease in-store shopping with the newest technology like mobile checkout scanners.
But still, the losses keep piling up, Scott, and the company is now seriously considering spinning off its Lands' End clothing line as well as its automotive stores to save money.
Dean Reynolds in our Chicago newsroom. Thank you, Dean. Federal investigators would like to know what caused a cargo jet to land at the wrong airport. The massive Boeing jet is used to carry parts for the 787 Dreamliner. It was supposed to land at McConnell Air Force Base near Wichita, Kansas, but it ended up 9 miles away at a tiny airport with a runway that was technically too short for it to take off again.
John 4241 Heavy, McConnell is 9 miles southeast. Yes, sir. We just landed at the other airport.
Well, today, after towing the plane to the far end of the runway, a replacement crew got it airborne again, speeding down the runway at full throttle for the short flight to the intended airport. Today, the new chairman of the Federal Communications Commission said it is time to change the rules against making cell phone calls on airline flights. The commission wants to allow the calls at altitudes over 10,000 feet, but not during takeoffs or landings. The proposal will be considered at the FCC's meeting next month. 3 female Marines have marched into history, proving that they're ready for battle. That story's ahead.
When you have sinus pressure and pain, you feel squeezed, congested, beat down, crushed, as if the weight of the world is resting on your face. But Sudafed gives you maximum strength sinus pressure and pain relief, so you feel free, liberated, released, decongested, open for business. Powerful sinus relief from the #1 pharmacist-recommended brand, Sudafed. Open up.
For over a decade, millions have raised their hand for the proven relief of the purple pill. And that relief could be in your hand. For many, Nexium helps relieve heartburn symptoms from acid reflux disease. Find out how you can save at purplepill.com. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. For many, relief is at hand. Ask your doctor about Nexium.
It's that time of year again. Medicare open enrollment. Time to compare plans and costs. You don't have to make changes, but it never hurts to see if you can find better coverage, save money, or both. And check out the preventive benefits you get after the healthcare law. Open enrollment ends December 7th, so now's the time. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Before COPD, I took my son fishing every year. We had a great spot. Not easy to worth it. But with COPD making it hard to breathe, I thought those days might be over. So my doctor prescribed Symbicort. It helped significantly improve my lung function starting within 5 minutes. Symbicort doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. With Symbicort, today I'm breathing better, and that Symbicort is for COPD, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It should not be taken more than twice a day. Symbicort may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. With COPD, I thought I'd miss our family tradition. Now Symbicort significantly improves my lung function starting within 5 minutes, and that makes a difference in my breathing. Today, we're ready for whatever swims our way. Ask your doctor about Symbicort. I got my first prescription free. Call or click to learn more.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Early today, 5 children were pulled alive from a frigid pond near Minneapolis. Their car was in the water for 45 minutes. It had veered off a highway ramp into 9 feet of water. The children, ages 1 to 7, are in serious condition. It's not clear how they survived. The driver, who is the mother of at least 3 of them, escaped unhurt. For the first time, 3 enlisted women have passed the Marine Corps' grueling infantry course. They graduated today at Camp Geiger in North Carolina. The women endured 8 weeks of tough training that included hiking for miles, carrying 87-pound packs and assault rifles, same as the men. But they will not be headed for combat, not yet. The military is still developing standards for women in the infantry. Japan has gained a patch of new territory. It was created by an unknown volcano 600 miles south of Tokyo. The volcano pushed lava and rock up to the surface of the Pacific Ocean. The new island is about 650 feet in diameter and growing. Japan has not yet named it. Half a century ago, this man came face to face with an assassin. His story next.
Covaquin's number 5, The Sleepless Night. Sorry. New Robitussin DMX Nighttime. Fast, powerful cough relief that helps you sleep like a baby. Robitussin Nighttime. Don't suffer the consequences.
The day my doctor told me I had diabetes, I remember thinking, there's a lot I have to do. Check my blood sugar, eat better, start insulin. Today I learned there's something I don't have to do anymore. My doctor said with Levemir Flex Pen, I don't have to use a syringe and a vial.
Levemir Flex Pen comes pre-filled with long-acting insulin taken once daily for type 2 diabetes to help control high blood sugar. Dial the exact dose. Inject by pushing a button. No drawing from a vial. No refrigeration for up to 42 days. Levemir Insulin Detamir rDNA origin injection is not recommended to treat diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not use Levemir if you are allergic to any of its ingredients. The most common side effect is low blood sugar, which may cause symptoms
symptoms such as sweating, shakiness, confusion, and headache. Severe low blood sugar can be serious and life-threatening. Ask your healthcare provider about alcohol use, operating machinery, or driving. Other possible side effects include injection site risks. Tell your healthcare provider about all medicines you take and all of your medical conditions. Get medical help right away if you experience serious allergic reactions such as body rash, trouble with breathing, fast heartbeat, or sweating.
Lexpen is insulin delivery my way.
Covered by most insurance plans, including Medicare. Ask your healthcare provider about Levemir FlexPen today.
When your favorite food starts a fight, fight back fast with Tums. Heartburn relief that neutralizes acid on contact and goes to work in seconds.
I have a 401k retirement plan.
I started part-time. Now I'm a manager.
My employer matches my charitable giving. Really?
I get bonuses even working part-time.
Where I work, over 400 people are promoted every day.
Healthcare starting under $40 a month.
I got education benefits. I work at Walmart.
I'm a pharmacist.
Sales associate.
I manage produce.
I work in logistics.
There's more to Walmart than you think.
Opportunity. That's the real Walmart.
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine.
At 11, a Portland school board member speaks out about some serious concerns, how he says backroom decisions, hidden agendas, and lies are a regular problem. At 11.
"50 years ago today, President Kennedy and his wife Jackie flew to Texas on Air Force One. The president was shot the next day in Dallas. Bob Schieffer met a man who ran into the assassin as Lee Harvey Oswald fled the scene.
I will never forget that first look.
50 years ago, Pierce Allman, a young newsman, came to this corner of Elm Street directly across from the Texas School Book Depository to see the young first couple.
They turned the corner and boom.
There were 3 loud, reverberating explosions.
Allman looked up at the red brick building.
There were 3 guys in the 5th floor window, and they were literally hanging out of the window and looking up and pointing up. And I thought, I need to get to a phone and call. I ran down the sidewalk and up the steps and into the doorway of the depository building.
Where he had a chance encounter.
There was a guy standing in the doorway, and I said, "Where's the phone?" He jerked his thumb. He said, "In there." I said, "Thank you."
Moments later, Allman filed a live report, unaware that he'd just come face to face with the president's assassin.
This is Pierce Allman from the Texas School Book Depository building.
Allman would not learn the man's identity until 3 weeks later when the Secret Service paid him a visit.
They said, "Are you familiar with the testimony of Lee Oswald after his arrest?" And I said, "No." They said, "Well, he states that as he was leaving the depository building, a young man with a crew cut rushed up, identified himself as a newsman, and asked where a phone was. So this is very obviously you."
And must have come as something of a shock when you realized the guy you'd asked for directions was the person who had just shot the president.
He didn't appear stressed in any way.
Just minutes earlier, Oswald shot the president from the 6th floor corner window of the building.
The president has been shot.
To Allman, it's as if it happened yesterday.
If I go to the site, it's forever 1963. I can hear it. I can see it. It's a memory that stays with you forever.
50 years later, a day still frozen in time. Bob Schieffer, CBS News, Dallas.
And we will be in Dallas tomorrow for the ceremonies marking the 50th anniversary of the assassination. That's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News all around the world, good night.
Hundreds on Beauty Rest and Posturepedic, or choose $300 in free gifts with the most popular Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Even choose 48 months interest-free financing on the new Tempur Choice with head-to-toe customization. The Triple Choice sale is ending soon.
Time was, people thought that reinventing yourself was for movie stars, or at least for younger people. Well, I think I've reinvented myself more times since 60 than I did in all my previous years. There's been Jack the Chef, Jack the Fisherman, Jack the Woodworker, Jack the Cyclist. Some people think this is a time to drop out of life. Apparently, some people don't know Jack.
We all like warm rooms and hot water, but did you know heating them makes up about 60% of your home's energy use? New high-efficiency gas equipment reduces that energy use, so you pay less and get more. Learn about equipment incentives at nwnatural.com.